Oh, this is let's look at this too. This is Fox and Friends are very angry because I'm not quite sure why they're angry here. Apparently in New York, they're not going to be doing this year the two beams of light. And I don't believe they've done it every year. Maybe they have, where the World Trade Center was. I mean, there's been a couple of years I don't remember seeing it, but maybe that was just I didn't pay attention on that day. But they're very angry about COVID denying that happening. I'm not clear why, but let's listen in to Fox and Friends.
Meanwhile, what is it for? The sacrifice people made on that day and the sacrifice that happened after as we hunted down the people that killed all those people on 9/11, Al-Qaeda and everything else. So all you're asking people to do, and I'm sure you'd get volunteers lined up through the Lincoln Tunnel to put on an N95 mask. We could supply them if you want, and do what they're doing every day in the scaffolding around our building, and they're building things at LaGuardia Airport, and nobody's worried about their welfare. But to point lights into the sky, you'd have volunteers from coast to coast to show that.
Brian?
That is just a kick in the teeth and another unnecessary upset of normalcy in America.
And Brian, remember, never forget. I guess this is a way we won't
Except
be
for this year.
remembering them.
Well, what they're suggesting instead is that for all buildings in New York City to light up the facades with light blue light to remember what happened.
There's nobody in our buildings. Everyone's left.
Well, so they're on the outside, so it's going to be easy. So just shine the big light. So that's what they're planning. The question is, what will they do next year on the 20th anniversary?
All right.
I mean, the entire city putting blue lights up on their buildings. Why is that somehow doesn't suffice for Brian Kilmeade?
Well, everyone knows the Democrats did 9/11, so it's in their best interest for people to forget.
It is they just cannot figure out how they can deal with this. Like all the politics are like from like 15 years ago.
I hope nobody tells Brian Kilmeade how many 9/11's COVID has, counted in terms of deaths in America.
Right. We're at 170,000 people.
Yeah, it's 56
and it's quite possible
9/11's
that we might not want to contribute to that. I mean, I imagine that's what the question is like, can we safely do this? And then the people who have organized it have said they can't. Just because you're going to get volunteers to come in, well, that's great from across the country. But you know what? From 35 states, they're not allowed to come into New York without quarantining because there's a huge pandemic. And to send them back and then to bring in, people from all these states. I mean, there's just no, they don't contemplate anything about this. And, there's been thousands of people in New York who sacrificed a lot working as healthcare workers, many of whom died, first responders, many of whom died to deal with this pandemic. So how about taking that seriously when they're already talking about an alternative? I mean, it's just so bizarre. And I don't know that never forget. I think that was not necessarily about 9/11. But all right, last